great to see them here in this final. And it's great to see Thailand here in this final as well. A team that is incredibly well balanced. I touched on Indonesia's goals. Thailand has conceded just once in the 6 matches leading up to this final, but have also entertained as well. So for me, this is Thailand, a very balanced team. They know how to attack, they know how to get the goals, they know how to see a result out as well and be very professional and keep opposition sides out, up against an Indonesian team who I feel will get at them, will try and attack, will be brave and will not be afraid to face down and stare down this challenge.
There is Asnawi, the captain of Indonesia. He knows the responsibility, the expectations he has to bear for almost 300 million people. Expectations are absolutely massive. We talked about Indonesia. What about Thailand? They haven't won this competition since 2016. Here is the Indonesian lineup for you. They make 3 changes today. I think the most clear one is at left back with Pratama Arhan out through suspension. He's replaced by Edo Federiansyah. Irfan, who's been arguably one of the players of the tournament, gets to start today. He surprisingly did not start in the last game. And Didik Setiawan will be leading the line, as you can see here. They go with a 4-2-3-1. There was a feeling that they might go with a 5, and Roshan will explain in a short while how they could well set up against Thailand as this match progresses. So, as I mentioned, Pratama Arhan is not available today. Ezra Walian is the striker that sits this out. They have been swapping their strikers around quite a bit, and Ramai Rumakek, the very fast attacker, will have to settle for a place on the bench. We talked about Asnawi on the left. What about this man here on the right? Chanatip Songkrasin, MVP in 2014 and 2016. One of the most recognizable faces in football from the region. And Here is the starting lineup for Thailand. Incredibly, there are only 4 survivors from that second leg draw against Vietnam. Thirasin Dangda, the striker, Pitiwat in midfield, Chanatip we just spoke about, and Kritsada in the centre of defence. They will go with a 4-3-3. Pitiwat at the bottom of that diamond, Chanatip at the top, feeding Thirasin Dangda and Bordin Pala. And what that means is we have plenty of regulars not available. The big change, of course, many people were talking about, another left-back who will not be joining us tonight because of a suspension, and that is Tiraton Bunmatan Chachai, is out for the tournament. The goalkeeper sustained a serious injury, and he will not be available again. We asked about Manuel Beer and Patompon as to why they were not available, and we were not given an answer to that one. Yeah. They're not available on the bench either. So there is Mano Polking along with Shintaeyong. On the bench, I should also add Sarat Juyen, Titipan and Narubadin. So its changes are plenty, Russian, more than perhaps many would have thought. But yeah, it is the first leg.
Yeah, I was quite surprised actually when the Thailand lineup came out, but I guess I shouldn't be, because Mano Polking has spoken about using his squad and about having faith in each and every member of that squad. And we've seen throughout this competition, he's not been afraid to make those changes. A couple of them enforced, especially at left back with Tristan Doe coming into that position, but Roller as well at right back. So what it does is it gives them a lot of more energy, those fresh legs into the side. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how they sort of repay his faith here.
Yeah, he's in the final over 2 legs, which is great. Get underway. And Roshan, take us through perhaps how Indonesia will set up their...
Wonderful finish from Chanatip as well. It's on the edge of the area. He just peels away from Alfeandra, who has to go and help his defense out. No protection from the midfield there. They get drawn all over the place. You can see Rahman Irianto leaves his midfield position, his central midfield position, gets dragged out, and so does Alfeandra. The number 13 goes out to try and stop Philip Roller. And then Alfeandra, as Roller beats 2-3 players in there, draws those defenders towards him, and then that creates a space for Chanatip to go and power that home. What a finish.
Fantastic semi-final against Vietnam, and they just have not allowed Indonesia to settle at all. Philip Roller helping to win that ball. Perseverance from him on that right-hand side, and it is very, very impressive here from the Thais. Indonesia now trailing by a goal early on. A nightmare start for them.
A great start for Thailand, and I think we expected this from Thailand, didn't we? In the sense that, you know, they're not afraid to go out and try and kill the game off in the first leg.
This is exactly what they did against Vietnam, isn't
That's
it?
exactly where I was going with that, Chez.
And ironically, this is what Indonesia did with Singapore in the early stages of that second leg in particular. They love Indonesia themselves to go up with quick, brisk start. Look at that. The Thai fans will be absolutely delighted with that. Clearance away by Kritsada, has been one of the stand-up performers in this competition. Irfan with that touch on. Here's Chanatip. Look at that, the pirouette from him. We were not quite at the same tournament, were we, in 2018? We didn't have the joy of watching Chanatip, did we? And this is what we're missing, Roshan.
He's a class apart, right? And I feel like I've said this a few times now in this competition with Chanatip. It's just a different level. And the spaces that he occupies as well, he's just so intelligent. He's always got his head on a swivel, scanning in this environment, understanding. And even if he doesn't receive, what he's going to do is he's going to drag players out of position as well. And that will create a space for someone else to then go and use. But that first goal, Philip Roller, I thought was excellent. And again, we talk about dragging players towards you, and that's exactly what Philip Roller did. Dragging that midfield, essentially. Those 2 sitting midfielders of Indonesia, Irianto and Dewanga, that are supposed to protect on the edge of the penalty area. Both of them got dragged across. This is a look at the goal again. Roller here, wonderful work, lovely bit of skill. Irianto gets dragged across, Dewanga gets dragged across, and then that leaves that space on the edge of the penalty box for Chanatip to go and exploit.
Not a man you want to give space to, Chanatip Songkrasin. He's exploited that one fully. Thailand on the ball. Wiratep trying to get that up to Borden Pala, who's up there with Tirasin. Now super top. He's got Philip Roller. Thailand with a corner.
You know, the new age term for being able to draw defenders towards you is apparently called gravity. Where you drag players along with you.
I like sucked in the past, but
yeah, exactly. I mean,
gravity.
It is what it is, you know.
Okay.
You got to try and keep up with the times, I guess.
Gravity. Okay, so that's what the kids say.
Yep.
Here is Thailand out with that corner. And that actually wasn't all that far away from Elias Dollar, who had a free header. Now Roller, who came into the squad late, flew in from Germany. Thailand have got the ability to call upon very, very talented players. They've got the best league in Southeast Asia. Kritsada. Now Wiratep. Who's not been a regular in this lineup. Certainly been very good. And there's Paul King saying, calm down. Lots and lots of time.
There he goes in his black shirt and jeans combination, tucked in, sleeves rolled up. You see Kritsada is taking a bit of contact.
What I could say about you right now, Roshan.
Kritsada, 22 years of age, by the way, just a reminder. And wonderful quality shown in that back line. He's normally a defensive midfielder as well. And this really supports it. Is one of the I'm going to add this to evidence of this theory that I've got of defensive midfielders slotting into central defense easily, whereas central defenders can't play in central midfield. It's a disaster for them.
If the central defenders out there are listening, let us know your thoughts. So here come Thailand again through Roller. He looks up. Looking to get that up to Tirasin Dangda. Vitua. Ambitious from him. Well, he'll be absolutely delighted. He talked again about bringing this trophy back. And now on to 3 goals. He's 1 away from his countryman, Tirasin Dangda. They're the only 2 at the moment. Irfan Jai's got 3. He's got a chance as well. Witten Sulaiman has got 2. Those are the only players left. And there's Witten Sulaiman, who had a swing at the ball and missed. They haven't really got on it at all, have they, Roshan?
No, they haven't. And, you know, Thailand coming into this, obviously the more experienced of the 2 sides. The players who have featured in this competition, the players who have won this competition previously. Indonesia, a very young squad, a very young side. And there's lots of excitement from some of their players coming into this final, and you wonder at times if that excitement just gets a bit too much for you. You know, it's got to be at a certain sort of level to almost see Thailand just break in midfield.
Yeah, Thailand have the 2nd oldest squad in the tournament after Singapore, and Indonesia have one of the youngest after the likes of Timor-Leste, Cambodia and Laos. And that's one of the things that Shintaeyong has done. He's lowered the average age, hasn't he, of this squad. He's been very deliberate in that. He's been very deliberate about who he's picking. He wants players he can kind of mold, Roshan, into his vision.
That's right. I think the key for Indonesian football going forward is to get as many of these younger guys as they can moving overseas and playing overseas and experiencing a different level, a different culture, a different way of playing as a professional footballer, living as a professional footballer for them, because it's a talented team that's got a big, bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, right now, of course, people talk about the likes of Witten Sulaiman, who's just there on the ball. We've got Egu Maulana, who's on the bench, along with Elkan Baggett. These are the overseas-based stars, but look at Thailand again. And it's away by Fakhruddin. That right-hand side has been productive for Thailand. Wiratep. There's Supachok. Let's see the idea, just a little too much on that for Roller.
Yeah, and just notice as well the position that Roller had taken up there. You know, the rotation of positions that they're employing here, Thailand. You know, it's popping up in different areas, different spaces. And if you're defending in those situations, if you're ball watching, you get caught off guard very quickly. And Indonesia just not looking like themselves early on here in this one. You know, a couple of stray passes, loose touches. Thailand really applying the pressure, making sure that the Indonesian players don't have much time on the ball. It's a lovely touch from Supachok.
Back to Roller. Elias Dola. Cross to Kritsada. Playing with supreme confidence, and as soon as I say that, he's giving the ball away. And that is a poor ball, I'm afraid, from Witan Sulaiman, who's normally so assured of himself, the young man. I just wonder, Roshan, how much this is playing in ahead. Of course, they've talked about the psychology of coming into this, and knowing the history, Roshan, you can't ignore it. It's 5 editions, 5 finals you've been to, 5 that you've lost. It's in there somewhere in the psyche, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's something that has